Hello, everyone. So look, there obviously was some technical issues um, that I couldn't work out, and we are now more than 15 minutes late, and I'm completely out of my vibe. So I want to apologize to you guys. Uh, I logged in, I had everything prepared, and I actually had my topics and subjects and all those things prepared tonight, and I was excited to bring you guys an exciting version of tonight's show. Sometimes things just aren't meant to be. Technical issues threw me off my game tonight, and I ah. So look, we weren't. We can do an impromptu, possibly, but it threw me off completely. So I wasn't able to set up. So I am going to at least bring in, my folks, and we'll kind of go from there. But I hate sloppy shit, so I hate that I wasn't able to get you guys together and bring you in, and it's thrown me completely off my rhythm. But I do want to say hey to my people, so I'm going to invite them, but I'm not going to do the show as planned because I don't like if I'm one of those perfectionists, and if you're not going to do something right, then I don't want to do it at all. But I definitely want to say hello to my people, and so hopefully they've got the invitation and they're more than welcome to pop in to say hey. And Tasha said it's not too late. You know, so I just sent the link, sweetheart. So if you can hear me, there are the links. But so let me bring in McMac. How's it going, McMac? I just want to say, hey, I am not doing the show tonight, just so you know.
Black, no, come on now. Black, come on. We can, this is easy to pivot from. Come on now.
What's
You
going
got
on, brother
Bert,
Bert?
you got
What's
Kenny.
up, bro?
Come on. We want to talk about this.
I feel like it's sloppy. It would be a sloppy show tonight.
It's not going to be a sloppy show. We just got delayed by a few minutes. That's it. We just had an extra long intro. That's okay.
Is that what we're calling it?
We're calling it an extra long improv.
Okay,
That's
so
it.
you guys want to do sloppy seconds?
It's not sloppy seconds.
It's never
That
sloppy seconds when it comes to us.
huh?
Thank you. Come on, Bert. Tell them again.
I didn't hear you. What did you say, brother Bert?
It's never sloppy seconds when it comes to us.
You know. Okay. Where's my brother Kenny at? Did I send brother Kenny an invitation?
I don't know. I don't know. Did you?
Brother Kenny say he's coming.
Okay.
So you know what? We'll go. You
It's just
know.
a little delayed. That's all.
We're gonna make
We
you
just operating
uncomfortably
on a different
comfortable.
clock tonight. That's all.
We're gonna make you uncomfortably comfortable.
There you go. Right there.
Hey, such is the life, brother. It'll be all right. That's
Right.
technicalities. SHIT happens sometimes.
Yeah, and so for my viewers, this is going to be a shitty show.
No, it's not. That
Going to be
ain't
real
nobody
shitty.
but the devil right there. That's just the
This
devil.
is
Don't
this is
treat
going to
that
be real.
disrespect
Let's
as
jump
that.
into this thing though, and hopefully I can develop my mojo. What we were supposed to talk about at lunch tonight was we were going to talk about news of the day. If you've been watching, many times I pop in and I'm an opinionated SOB, so that's who I am. But we are also affected by things that happen in everyday life, and a lot's going on. A lot of things are going on. So I really wanted to use today as an opportunity to just touch base and touch the pulse of my people to see how we're dealing with all of this shit that's going on. What's going on, Miss Hannah?
Hey,
And
Hannah.
so we're
Hey,
gonna
what's
try
up,
this
Hannah?
thing, and I'm throwing off my rhythm a little bit, and I hear some kind of feedback in my ear. So it's a real shitty show, but we'll take it for what it's worth.
Okay.
So of course, the first thing that's on everybody's plate, I wanted to see how you guys are dealing with the mass shootings and what you feel about this. Um, you know, we just had a recent one right there in Texas. You know, I don't know if you guys had an opportunity to see Steve Kerr right before the finals and how passionate he talked about, you know, it's time to have some reform when it comes to gun laws and things of that nature. But I know that, Brother Kenny, you live right there in Texas, you know, so you might even be affected by it in a different way. So I want to talk about these things to see how we are affected or maybe not affected. So how are you guys dealing with what's going on right now when it comes to the mass shootings? Anybody?
Since I'll go first, since we still, this happened in Texas on yesterday. I hate to say that I'm desensitized to this, but I am because of my background in working in television news. I've seen a lot of crime and murders and stuff in my career. So things like this doesn't surprise me anymore. It just shows you that those politicians that you think are working for you aren't working for you. They're working for themselves because at the end of the day, they don't want to get these guns under control, because if they wanted to, they've been in past a gun control bill with some teeth in it decades ago. But guess what? The National Rifle Associations are in bed with them, and it's a lot of money being passed around. So they don't care about these deaths. They don't care. Their favorite statement is, "We send in our thoughts and prayers." We don't need you to send no more thoughts and prayers. Stop it. We don't want to hear that. Stop. And just the ironic thing about this, Friday in Houston, Texas, is the National Rifle Association's meeting
Correct.
this coming Friday.
Correct.
And Mr. Donald Trump will be one of the speakers. So that tells you a little bit something about Texas and the governor here that is trash. But again, it saddens me because I believe it was 18 children and one adult was murdered. All because this guy was able to go. He just turned 18 years old a couple of days ago. He was able to go buy assault rifles at 18. So what's the deal, man? I don't get it. But that's my take.
Absolutely. Well, that's Steve Kerr's assessment as well. So thank you. I appreciate that. What's up, Brother Brenton?
What's up, Brent?
Definitely my brother there. And then my big head sister from New
What's
York.
up, Sherry?
We missed you, sis, as well. But I'm hearing some feedback in somebody's mic.
Yeah, I don't think it's mine. I'm hearing what you're hearing too.
I hear it too. It's not mine because I tried to mute mine to see if it was me.
Let me mute mine and see if it's me.
Let's see. All right, as we're talking. Okay. Brother Bird, how are you dealing with things that's going on? And maybe it's my mic. I told you this was going to be just a shitty show. So
It's not going to be a shitty
So
show.
I'm asking a question, then I'm going to mute my fat mouth because I think it's me.
The way I feel about it, it was like an initial shock at first, but then I started running down the list like Columbine and things like that, and after a while, it was just more like, here we go again. Just started that little desensitization started to seep in, where it was just like, wow, you see the elementary school, but I'll tell you this much. It changed my way of thinking now, as far as, we have a little one and she's going to school, and it's just like, now you got to have a different talk. Before it was like, you talk with a little bit like, boys or whatever, Now you got to talk about somebody actually come up to a school and shooting you. And what do you do, and the things you have to do to, for self-preservation. It's just sad. And what Steve Kerr was saying was right, but I'll tell you this much, Kenny, you right, they don't care, but they would care if it was their kids. If it was their kids in them schools and stuff like this was going down, trust me, something would have been moved. But with these parties, it just seems like either side, I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat, I don't care what you are, independent, whatever you are. It's like, it just seems like they go more for the people that voted for them instead of just doing the right thing for everybody.
Absolutely.
We're never going to get that, but
absolutely.
Hopefully.
Absolutely. And so
we can't hear you.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. Fuck you, Mike. Okay. It is uncut. It's uncut. So before I answer, let's say hello to a few people. And it's still showing some static and stuff in the mic and whatnot, all kinds of. That's why I said, you know, and again, everything was working fine. It's just it's a shitty ratchet night, but okay, bear with me. Jenny P, you know, says, this is from Memphis. She says she's definitely had to open up yet another dialogue with her youngest two sons who are also desensitized. So she's agreeing with you, Brother Bird, that it's a terrible thing that you have to have this conversation with your school-aged children about how to survive being in school. Brother Kennard, appreciate you, my brother. Good to see you.
What's up, fam?
Absolutely. And then Jenny from the block, from the Bronx. How you doing, baby girl?
What's up, Jenny? Good evening, Jenny.
You know, and while we get your take, Tasha, I'm going to send a link to Brother Kennard. He said, you know, he's got a few things he want to add to the mix. Where are you at on this topic?
For me, I'm definitely desensitized to it. It doesn't have, even when it happened, I was like, there's another one, you know, but I mean, shootings happen. It's not any better, but shootings happen every day. And yeah, it's unfortunate that it took place at a school and kids had to live their lives and things. And yeah, I mean, we can make the argument for, you know, like gun control or harsher gun laws, but is that really going to change? If somebody really, really wants to hurt people, do you really think that's going to make a difference? Or is it going to make them more creative to do it in a different way? Let's just take the gun away from him. What's stopping him from just going online and looking up how to make a pipe bomb and blowing something up? If somebody really, truly wants to hurt and kill somebody, they're going to do it no matter which method that they have. Well, yeah, we can make the argument and people can say, oh, well, because, you know, his age, it was so easy for him to go and just be able to, you know, like buy a rifle and things. Even when there were, you know, like the background checks and different states have their own laws and their own rules to where there is a waiting period, there's still a way to get them on the street. So until people individually in their own individual households fix whatever the hell is broken right here, I don't think we're going to see any change.
Wow. Very, very interesting.
That was good. And he killed his grandma.
I'm sorry, say again, Brother Bird?
He lived with his grandmother.
Very, very interesting take.
Yeah, she's still alive, by the way.
Oh,
people will report she's in critical, but she's still alive. As of this morning, she was. Yes.
Because what would make you spaz out on your grandmother?
Just like you said, Tasha, until you can get these people right up here, until they start investing money in mental health and all that, instead of throwing this money to other stuff, we're gonna see more of this. Matter of fact, just today, a kid in Richardson High School in Texas brought a gun to school in his bag, and they caught him just today. So I mean, you see,
which tells you we're no closer to it stopping in any kind of way.
Right.
Brother Kennard, what do you want to add to the conversation?
You know, it's kind of
feedback. I'm assuming it's my mic.
Yeah, it's kind of strange. I had a dream just the other night about. I was actually dreaming, and it turned out that it was a basketball game going on, and it was a mass shooting. They were shooting at the damn basketball players, and to see the body, and I'm thinking, like, how am I having these elusive dreams like this? You know what I'm saying? And then the connection to where I hear about this going on, it saddened me, because I'm like, what goes on in the minds of people to where they can commit these types of crimes in a very non-impunitive kind of way, and just it saddened me, because my daughter had I'm looking at the kids who were killed, and they're not too far removed from the ages of my daughter. My daughter had a pre-K graduation just the other day, the night after I had that dream. And to be honest, it's crazy, because a lot of the parents talked about how their children had bad feelings about going to school that day. So there's something to where they felt that something crazy was going to happen, and it's just, you know, I'm in a sad state. Like I just, and it's no take that you can really have on this that makes this make sense, to where you have innocent lives of children and teachers who are just trying to do their jobs and just trying to make it through the day from an educational standpoint. A lot of these kids, this was their last day of that particular school, and one of the kids, their parents were like, I don't want to go to school today, and they wound up going, and they wound up being one of the victims. And we can talk all we want about mental health, and we can talk all we want about trying to stop this thing in its tracks, but until we go the extra mile in these non-secured environments like daycares and schools that we think are safe, we assume that they're safe, but people are at home thinking of ways to where they can terrorize these unsafe situations. And it leaves these kids vulnerable. That leaves the unarmed security guard who can't stop anything, who don't.
I think he cut out. Black, are you on mute?
Yeah, Black, you on mute.
Yeah, so we might have lost him. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we lost your last thoughts, and I'm going to move on to some other topics. So I'll just say this in the interest of time. This is, me personally, I am desensitized, and I hate to say that, and when I listen to Steve Kerr's impassionate plea to do something, I'm not optimistic that anything is going to be done, because there are bigger issues at stake here. This is about greed and money and power and politics, but it's also a referendum on how we treat crime in this country. Biden, when he spoke, he talked about learning of this news on the flight back from, I think, China or whatever, wherever the fuck he was at, with his old crypt keeper looking ass. Having said that, my thing is, you look at some of these other countries, yes, because I'm holding them accountable. I'm holding him accountable because getting on TV, I'm sick. The buck is being passed constantly. Nothing's ever going to happen until somebody do something about it. You know what I'm saying? And last time I checked, I thought you was the president. But okay, I'm not a fool either, folks, that I realize the president does have limited powers. But my God, what's the fucking point of having a position if you can't do anything with it? And so I am pissed off and I am desensitized, because what does it say that other countries are industrialized just like us, and they don't have these issues that we have? And so it's about these lobbyists and money and power, and the fact that, like you said, Brother Kenny, that the very next day, the very organization that's controlling a lot of this shit is holding a convention. And you're telling me we can't do anything about it? The reality is, we always talk about America being the land of the free. We have too many damn freedoms, and freedom isn't free. That's my take. And I know we could go on and on about this, but it does piss me off that we constantly are pushing out, the colloquialisms. Well, let's fly the flags half-mast, and we're going to give our condolences. And it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything, because this thing called America is steady rolling along until the next shooting. So,
and the fact that it's been going on for so long, there's been no solution since Columbine. There's no solution since Columbine.
So, and so I say again, with each person kicking a can down the street, Republican, Democrat, Independent, I don't give a damn. Nothing's going to get done until you do something. And I'm sick of, it's amazing how, one of our topics is going to come up here in a second, that when it comes time to giving aid to another country, you can get together with senators and congressmen and pass that with flying colors, but we can't do anything about what's happening in our own freaking country. Come on, man. But anyway, let's go to the next one. Tasha and I was having this conversation, and I wanted you guys to hear her unique take on this, and she represents the women's view here. Roe v. Wade is being revisited, and Tasha, if you would share with us some of the information that we were talking about the other night, because folks, you got a bunch of men, white men and mostly, telling women what they can and can't do with their bodies. And so, Tasha, I got you.
I was so mad the other day just reading it, where, you know, like I understand a lot of my views are not popular. You know, among certain people, they're not popular. I get it. However, for me, with Roe v. Wade, I do not understand why this is even a legal issue. This is a morality issue. This is and it's only, and the only people who should really be able to have a say-so in this, hands down, are women. Because we're the ones who can have the actual procedure. There's no reason why anyone should be voting on this. It shouldn't be a state issue. It shouldn't be any, it shouldn't be any of that. It is a personal decision. And with a lot of states, they have all of these trigger laws in place in anticipation of Roe v. Wade being overturned. So here in Tennessee, they're going to revamp the foster care and the adoption system. Why wait till now to make that decision? You should have already been doing that. You're not putting more money towards social workers, even with people that we know who are fucked up parents. Just because you can have kids does not mean that you should have kids. There's a lot of fucked up individuals who have kids who can't take care of them, and they're constantly being given back to them. There's states that already have laws that they're anticipating the overturning of Roe v. Wade, where they're talking about getting rid of not only Plan B, but birth control for non-married people. For non-married people, they're saying some states are going to say that if you are, if you're not married, it doesn't even matter what type of marriage you're in. They're talking about getting rid of that. It's a slippery slope, because not only are you talking about reproductive health, I can't go to the damn doctor if I wanted to have a hysterectomy without obtaining permission from a boyfriend or from a husband. I have to have permission. This my shit. I don't care what nobody. This mine.
Right.
It don't matter. Right. Not only that, where does it stop? There's also, if we're gonna go this far, don't you know that there's some states some senators are already proposing repealing interracial marriages? Where does it stop? All in anticipation of Roe v. Wade. It's crazy to me. It's just crazy. Black can't tell me what to do with my pussy. Kenny can't tell me what to do with my pussy. Bert can't tell me what to do with my pussy. And when there's a will, there's a way. And if they sit up here and they think that they're going to have a whole influx of kids going into foster care, let me tell you something. You got another thing coming. You're going to have a whole bunch more problems going on.
Fellas,
wow.
Do you say anything?
Well.
That's
how can I follow that? That's like following. I have a dream.
Right. That's a mic drop. That was totally a mic drop moment.
I wanted y'all to hear
ever heard one. And I agree 110% with everything Tasha said. Everything. Now, the one thing I would add to that, I think that those men that are predominantly white, I think they afraid, and we can see it, of the population. They're trying to control population because they know they are not going to be the majority in the next 20, 25 years. So they want to control women's bodies, especially black women, and how many babies they can create.
I wanted y'all to hear how personal this is for her and for women, because I have nothing on this. I completely defer. Welcome, Candace, sweetheart. She say facts. You know, and that's why I say.
Let me just add this too. I just wanted to add this. The same people who are making these laws, making these suggestions, have been in these positions for so long, and they haven't done anything except they have fucked, They have had women, girlfriends, daughters who've had these abortions. And now that they're done touching on everybody that they can, now they want to tell the next 2 generations what they can and cannot do with their body. That's absurd to me. It's a morality issue. That's all it is.
Again,
And you touched on, I was going to touch on that a little bit, but you covered it.
you're
Tasha,
welcome. I have nothing.
I have nothing to add. Tasha knocked
You
it out of
got
the
it.
park. I can't.
But in case you guys don't know, Tasha and I, we've been doing this a long time. Whether we have this show or not, this is the shit we talk about. We don't only just talk about fuckery and foolishness. We talk about real shit every day. And I just wanted you guys to hear just a little bit of what goes into a show like this, into who we are. Brother Bert?
Yeah, also, another caveat here. It's like, if that happens, that means there's a lot of other things that can fall as well.
Slippery slope.
Right.
Slippery slope, really, it really is. It's a really slippery slope.
So I just wanted you guys to hear that. We're gonna move on to one where we can all jump in, because Tasha, that was
Yeah.
That was
beautiful.
yeah.
That was
I
beautiful.
was just drinking.
Yeah, that was that was a knockout. That was a TKO knockout. That's all I'm gonna say on it.
Absolutely. All right. So again, let's talk about. I alluded to it a moment ago, and so we are quite naturally still dealing with an active war in Ukraine. And of course, as I mentioned, our elected officials, they are in full-fledged in sending support. And I just read today where the Ukrainian president, he only want to talk to Putin. He won't talk to nobody else. He want to talk to Putin if he talks peace. And so whatever the hell is going on over there, but I know we just said damn near $40 billion in support. This is the same small country that Trump got damn near where he got impeached over. So all this little fuss and muss over this little old country, and this is affecting our everyday lives. In a nutshell, you guys, what do you guys think about this fact that we are dealing with a war? And many people say that this could be the precipice of World War III. So much is at stake. What do you guys think about this?
I really don't know what the hell the U.S. is doing, to be honest with you. I mean, are we in, or it's like we got 1 foot in and 1 foot out? You know, you're sending a ton of billions of dollars over there for them, but then you want to play hands off. Either you're gonna get in the game or you're not. My thing is, I don't think we should have got involved with it anyway, personally speaking. But I really don't. I'm at a loss, because I really don't understand why we even dealing with this situation. That's between Russia and Ukraine, in my opinion. But
okay,
We have some type of vested interest with Ukraine. I mean, it goes deeper than even just what's going on between the two, because of what Russia is really ultimately trying to do as far as by taking Ukraine. I think it could be the beginning of something big, because Putin is he's stern and he's very stiff-necked, and when he believes in something, he goes full tilt. You know, and I mean, listen, the United States they've taken away certain things, so Russia, you know, pretty much can't really make money like that, and they're still pressing. You know, so yeah, I think that it might get a little bit deeper, but the United States there's something going on with the Ukraine with them.
okay,
You know, they're trying their best to maneuver behind the scenes a little bit.
right.
And you know how America do.
Absolutely.
We're the best. We slime balls.
I do. Welcome, Antoine. Good to see you,
that's
fam.
real talk. What's up, Antoine? Yeah, that's real right there, Bert. You're right. America is slime balls. At least the politics of America, anyway.
Okay. Tasha, what you think? What you got to say on this?
This is another clear example of somebody who's been a lifelong politician that isn't doing anything, that doesn't care about anybody except for power. Just exuding power over people, just moving people and treating people like they're pawns. Putin has been what in power for how long now? For years, and it
Years.
makes no sense. And it's not to the to better his country, to uplift them. No, it's not. And even with this whole thing, I don't believe a lot of this. I'm a big conspiracy theorist. It's amazing to me that over the last few presidencies, everybody wants to be involved in a war. There has been a war on every single last one of the presidents, every single one of them. We always got to like create something extra for what? What we have individual problems going on in our individual countries. Way into your country is like 100% operating on all levels, boom, boom, boom. And isn't it amazing? That Thursday, the war started, boom, COVID ended, the pandemic ended that same fucking day. The same day. It's amazing to me.
This is what Tasha and I talk about all the time, and she's 1000% correct. Literally, every day there was a death count that plastered across our TVs, and that was all they talked about. And the next day when we were at war, it didn't matter. COVID went away miraculously, and even though now technically over 1 million people have died, but it went away. I think we still get a little feedback, so I'm going to mute. But yeah. So my thing is this, though, Tasha. You spoke on what I talk about all the time, and this is why I fundamentally object to war in general. War is absurd, we know that. I'm not saying anything new to that. But here's the problem I got with war on a most fundamental level, because such highbrow people will tell you it's a complicated issue. No, it's not.
It's not.
No, it's not. They want to make politics out to be such highbrow, and you don't understand. And well, we got to talk about it. We got to meet in the Pentagon. Fuck these people. Let me tell you what, fundamentally, what in of its essence is pure insanity. Brother Kenny, if you and our households were at war and we were trying to kill each other, and I come over and I burn your house to the ground, what sense would it make then once I burn your house to the ground, then I turn around and I go take out a bank loan and rebuild you a brand new house, even though the roof on my house is falling apart and my kids can't eat, and I got a broken table and shit, and my car don't work, but I'm going to go get in debt to build you a brand new house with a shiny new roof. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to send my family over there to help rebuild your house. That's what war is.
Right.
That's at its core, that's what it is. And so I'm going to say something that's not a popular opinion here. Now, this is where you shoot the messenger. This is where one of the areas where I agree with Donald Trump. I agree with him then, and I agree with him now. Now, when he uttered the phrase, put America first, his connotation might have been different in the way that I'm using it, but I agree with his sentiment. Because Tasha, you said it as well. Why not fix up our own house and have it running like a smooth machine? And this is somebody who came from the business sector, which boggles the mind even of itself. Why not have this thing called America running like a smooth machine before we start divvying out help and dipping our noses in business and everybody else's business? And so I could go down the list. When our infrastructure is falling apart, the highways, the roads, the schools, we don't pay teachers and firemen and policemen what they're worth. We still dealing with racism, homelessness, children going to bed hungry, women being beaten, veterans not treated right. We got a lot of fucking problems here. How about let's fix some shit over here first?
Right.
We got $40 billion to spend.
Right.
How about that money over here where it counts? And then let's tout ourselves as America the Great. Then how about being the beacon, the example to other countries that now that we've done all of this, let us show you how. But we always dipping in shit that has nothing to do with us. But as we already talked, there's other underlying things that's going on. And that is why fundamentally I don't fuck with politicians. I despise all of them because, as you say, Antoine, none of this makes any sense.
At all.
It's insanity, which bleeds right into my next topic. How are all of you guys dealing with inflation? Because you know what we're not talking about? What's not making the news enough is how inflation is really driving the damn middle class into a permanent underclass war.
Right.
I don't want to talk about this on no macroeconomic level. Big word, 10-cent word of my education. You know what I'm saying? But I want to talk about it on a real level of how it affects you personally. Because quiet is kept, we're in a recession.
Mm-hmm.
So don't get it twisted, all the shit they're telling you. But I'm talking about you, all of us on this screen. How are you dealing with inflation? And I want it from your perspective because Tasha and I talk about something all the time. Me and Kenny, you're going to fit in this category too. You know what we don't talk about how inflation affects enough? Single people.
Yep.
Yeah.
Single people.
Yeah.
We got all these government and social programs to help motherfuckers who have a whole lot of kids, these ugly ass kids running around here. And we already talked about Roe v. Wade. What about us single people? And then,
Right.
and Brother Bert, you getting ready to get married, my brother. Y'all have children, school-age children. How is inflation impacting your life? That's what I want to hear. Anybody?
Well, man, I don't even know where to begin. First of all, unemployment has affected me tremendously. Then to drop this on top of that, it's kind of like you got to try to figure it out. And then I didn't even think about it, Black, when you said like single people. There's no help for single people. Basically they say, oh, you single, you ain't got no responsibility. Oh, you can find a job, you can do. Rent is going sky high. People are raising it. The rent is increasing. Obviously, the gas prices, because you got to have a car. If you need to find a job. You got to have a car to get to a job. Now you can't even afford the gas. Then you go to the store to try to buy a little bit of food. You buy 12 or 13 items. That's about $85. And it's like we're drowning out here. That's all I'm gonna say. We are drowning, and this inflation is really, really not just the single people, but all of us. Well, especially the single people in the middle class, the lower middle class. We ain't getting no help, man. And it's hard right now. It's hard right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead, Brother Bert. Come in here, my brother.
Okay. Yeah, this inflation is some old bullshit. Man. I'm gonna tell you because of the fact that, like you said, brother, like with gas and everything, now you gotta make decisions on where you gonna go. Sometimes you're like, let me go ahead and calculate this real quick. Gas is like, well, over here, gas is $4.45. I don't know how much it is around where you guys are at, but that's like the going rate right now per gallon.
$4.39.
439. Okay, yeah. So we kind of between that 439, 445.
Yeah, that's about that.
But and especially if you have kids, regardless, that's more money that you're kicking out because they're not getting no smaller. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
So then food, the whole nine, and like brother Kenny said, you used to be able to buy a whole bunch of items for $80. Now it's like $8 you might have a couple of good items and that's it. And it's a wrap. And them pockets be tapped. But thank God that we come together as far as income, the whole nine, and taking care of certain things. Because I can only imagine. And I thought about this the other day. So it's so funny that you brought this up. I was like, if I was on my own, because I was seeing some prices about, I don't know if it was gas or it was something else. Somebody was talking about it on TV. And I was like, yo, how would you make it? I remember how it was years ago on my own and trying to make it, but now the way things are now, salute to y'all for keeping it afloat.
There you go, Mr. Falk. What's going on, Mr. TFG himself? Thanks
What
for
up,
tuning in,
Lamar?
brother.
What up, brother?
Love. And you're right, Brother Bert. And Antoine, my mom is 86 years old. 86 years old. And I worry about what her Social Security can cover and how far it's going to go because she has medicine and other things to think about. And she got bills like everybody else. What's going on, Aaron? Thanks for popping in, my brother. You know, and
What
this
up,
is,
Aaron?
and I know that, Brother Bert, you got kids saying, have anybody looked at what cereal costs now?
Yeah,
And what eggs cost?
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You talking about growing kids that can go through a damn box of milk and cereal.
That is nothing.
Right,
That
right.
is nothing.
Yeah.
You know? And they got to eat. They got to eat. So ain't no way around it. You know, Tasha, you're a single woman. Talk to me about inflation and how you cope and what this is about.
How I cope, I just, all you can do is just try to make it. That's all that you can do. I mean, it makes absolutely no sense. But again, it's like you kind of question. It's like, what did people think was going to happen? We know by and large the government isn't really listening to us, and even the foundation, like the foundation of how the Declaration of Independence and everything, how all that shit is fucking written is supposed to be run by us, not by a centralized government. It's supposed to be run by us. But even in that, what did people think was going to happen when we started demanding, higher wages and different things like that for low-skilled jobs? They stopped collecting rent from people. They stopped, they stopped all that. What did people think was going to happen? Where did you think the money was going to come from? You got to pass the buck on to somebody else. Somebody has to pay for it. And yeah, we can sit up here. You can print money all you want to go overseas. Does it even really have any sort of value or anything? I'm really curious. What did you really even send anything over there? Did you just transfer it over there and just say it's just like an IOU? Did you give them access to everything? Is there even anything? It's crazy. The smallest things, even for these landlords, these property owners and stuff. How dare you go up on rent in the interest of just trying to stay competitive, and you're not doing anything to even improve the property? If you're gonna go up on something, if you're gonna charge me for something more, it damn sure better be better. It can't be the same.
So
Hell, is prostitution? Did the prices go up on that shit?
Yeah, I heard
I don't
it
know if
ain't
everybody's
40.
feeling it. I
I
just
heard
want to
it
know.
ain't. I heard it ain't $40 no more, Tosh. I heard it's like $80 now.
hey,
Well,
you
pass it
know,
what I
along to
heard.
everybody.
That's
Shit.
what I heard.
Lord
I don't
knows.
know.
Well, Lord knows I paid for my share of pussy, but $20 was the going price back then.
Oh,
So
shit. Here we
you know,
go.
so and I wish I wasn't obese because I would sell some dick around here. But the only people buying dick now is other men. So I so
You know what?
I'm
You know
pretty much
what? I'm done with you.
I'm pretty much screwed.
Here we go. Off the rails. Here we go.
DJ say the new price of pussy is
It's $87.55.
They
DJ,
done put
how
taxes
you know?
What do you say?
Hey, DJ, how you know that? I want to know.
They done put taxes on pussy, and maybe he paying it because he eating peanut butter and jelly as we talk. I love you. Yo, we have to laugh about this, but it's so real and it's hitting home. And I shared this with my family on TFG tonight, so I'll share it with my audience here. Last Wednesday, I lost my job. Not through anything I did wrong. When I canceled the show last Wednesday, that's what I was dealing with, the effects of inflation. And so to Tasha's point, I live in one of the best buildings around here in Buckhead. You know, my rent is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? And I only moved here because of Tasha talked about inflation. Where I was living, I had a perfectly good apartment that I loved. But when the pandemic hit and the rent moratorium hit and millions of people weren't paying their bills. My black ass never missed rent. So how was I rewarded? My rent was going to go from $11.87 to $15.79 without them even so much as giving me new carpet. So my thing was, why would I in good conscience give you $400 extra when I'm not getting shit from it? Because you want to punish me because I was still a paying tenant. But meanwhile, they created every kind of program out there for people who didn't pay. And so I moved in this high-rise piece of shit. And now, last Wednesday, I lost my job due to downsizing and the cost of this and the cost of that. And so all of us, we lost our jobs. We're out of work right now. And so here I am now, trying to find out, well, how can, I keep my life going? Now I will share with my family here. I'm just fine. I come from the bottom. I'm from Harlem, New York. I grew up with rats and roaches. So I live near the bottom so I don't never have to get too high that I can't understand what's going on the ground. Tasha knows how I get down. I save for these reasons. And even though I live in a high-rise building, guess what? I still drink Fireball. I still eat cup of soups. Every now and then I treat myself to a little something. And as you all know, I don't pay more than $20 for pussy. So that ain't taking my money up. So with that said, I have some savings that's gonna keep me going. But you know what's crazy? In this week that I've been out of work, applying for food stamps to see if I can get these bitches, and I'm told that I don't qualify. Applying for some rent assistance. The logic is that if you live in this building, you must be able to take care of yourself. I just came from the grocery store today. Now, thank God my niece was in town a few days ago, and, she had a food stamp card, and I spent the shit out of that food stamp card. You know what I'm saying? And so tonight, I am eating steak along with broccoli and a nice salad because I'm going to make it. I'm going to be all right. And in fact, I'm not even looking for anything right now. But inflation, I don't know what they're thinking, but for the people that matter, it's killing. You said we're drowning. We're absolutely drowning. And so for this midterm election and all this kind of stuff, I hope we take all this in consideration. Yeah, it's some real shit happening here, Antoine. I hope we take this shit in consideration. And I wish the American public would just quit.
I would too.
All of y'all.
Yeah.
I wish collectively, you remember the good old days in the civil rights movement where we collectively stood up for something. Or sat down for something. Right. I wish we would quit on the whole fucking system.
Right.
Because they don't mean us no good. I appreciate that, my brother, DJ. The job market is good right now when I'm ready, and that's but DJ, it ain't good for everybody though, bro. Ain't good for everybody. I think that's a misconception. People think the job market is good. It's not good for everybody, especially for my profession. It's not. I'm glad you chimed in, my brother. And so it is one of those things where I could be wrong, and I hope that after I take this breather, Tasha knows this, I am using this time to regenerate mentally and physically, and then I'll get back out there. My fat black ass got to go back to work. I just played the lottery. I hope I hit tonight. But until that happens, I got to go back to work. But right now, I'm going to take care of me because you know what? These companies and this government, they don't give a fuck about you.
Nope.
So you got to give a fuck about yourself.
Exactly.
Let's change gears real quick. We were behind, folks, so I apologize for us running over, but we changed gears, and we ain't gonna spend too much time on some of these other. But let's talk about Miss Brittney Griner being detained, over there. How do you guys feel about this? We're gonna keep these last three pretty short and sweet. How do you guys feel about Brittney Griner being detained? She I think the initial charge was she got caught with some cannabis or something like
vapes,
that.
Yes, vapes like and all that. Yeah.
And she was over there playing. She's a WNBA player, and her is it a girlfriend or a wife, Tasha?
It's a wife.
So what do you guys think about the Brittney Griner? I always say free R. Kelly on every show. I love me some Kels. So should we be freeing Brittney Griner?
Yeah, I think we should, but she really just caught up. She just got caught in a bad space when that Ukraine stuff jumped off. That totally kind of just put her situation in just like in a bad space. I think she should, but now I mean she's a political toy now. I
Correct.
mean, Putin is going to use he's going to use that. He's already said that he doesn't even want Biden them coming into Russia anyway.
Correct.
Right at this moment. So, should she be free? Yeah, of course she should. But here's the thing: when you do those things in different countries, their drug laws are totally different. And you're a high-profile athlete. First of all, you should have known better not to have that stuff in your luggage. But that's beside the point. I think she should be free because they did release that the one guy that was from Texas. He had been over there for almost 2 years. He was released. I mean, she didn't commit she didn't murder anybody or nothing serious like that. It was just some vapes. Yeah, I think she should be released, but Putin ain't gonna go. It ain't gonna go that easy for her. And unfortunately, I always say this. She's collateral damage. Anytime there's countries against each other, there's gonna be somebody get caught, and she's caught in that collateral damage.
Okay. Anybody else want to say anything on this?
I do.
Okay.
Let the bitch stay over there. I'm tired of this. Let me just say it like this. She needs to stay over there because we have enough arrogant dumbasses running around free anyway. We're going to start outsourcing shit to other countries. Like, you know what? You're right. You should probably keep her because what value does she add over here? What are you doing over here that we just have to have you back? Bitch, we don't need you back over here. You play basketball. Stay over there. Stay over there. It's fine. You make more money over there. Stay over there.
I'm glad Tasha went there. See, now this flips it back to the United States. Now, if they paid the women professional basketball athletes better, her ass wouldn't have to be in Russia. So now
ain't nobody watching that bullshit anyway. Woman, I'm telling you, that shit ain't entertaining. That shit ain't entertaining. That shit is boring.
Television time out. Technical foul on top.
Now y'all understand.
I actually do watch the WNBA. Wait a minute.
Oh, so you wanted like 10 people that watch it, so you're keeping the ratings up. Okay. Canceled. I done canceled myself. Never mind. I canceled myself.
Jump in here, man.
Yeah, she's a political pawn. She's a political pawn. Yeah. We all know that, but I have to agree. When you go somewhere outside the United States, you gotta know where you're going to. You gotta know what the laws are. You know what I mean? Why you go do some dumb shit like that? Like just look to see what's going on. You know what I mean? And you would be in a situation, but that WNBA.
We ain't watching that.
Wait a minute now. Y'all totally being disrespectful now.
Brother Kenny, you in the minority on this one because I don't watch that shit either.
Hey, it went for being funny tonight. Y'all just being pure disrespectful.
The last time I watched WNBA was like when Cynthia Cooper and all them were playing.
Oh. I'm sorry. Oh my God. So I'm gonna move on to the next one because I truly don't give a fuck. I really don't. All right, let's bring us, speaking of fucking, let's talk about Deshaun Watkins.
Speaking of fucking, canceled. Canceled.
Hey, we on TFG Uncut and TFG Ratchet. So for a reason, we all know that Deshaun Watson will not be charged criminally. He is set to play, and he still got 22 women with civil lawsuits against him. HBO came out with their own take on it with Brian. What's his show called? Brian Glover with
Real Sports.
Real Sports with Brian
Surviving Deshaun. That's what we're gonna call it. Surviving Deshaun.
Thank you for saying it that way. And the only thing I've seen on this, because I have not seen it, so whether you guys have seen it, of course you can go and watch it. I did see one of the ladies, she was talking because I was watching the sports shows this morning on whatever the show is, not First Take, but the other one, Get Up. And I'm only gonna say what she said, and this is where I'll do my impression. So here we go. So I was giving him a massage, and I was gonna focus on the midsection, and he wanted me to go lower. And oh my God, I turned hot all over, and he exposed himself. I just felt like I didn't sign up for this. And then, the lady sportscaster, wow, you understand? And so Molly Hiram or whatever her name, she's a great advocate for women and how she must be believed. And she's telling the truth, and women stand tall, and it's a slap in their face that Deshaun got this big contract. What do you guys think? I think you can kind of gather what I feel about this, but what do you guys feel about the Deshaun Watson situation, especially with HBO bringing to light these 22 women and their civil case? Anybody? DJ say his cousin plays for the WNBA.
Stop it, DJ. Stop it, DJ. You need to cut that out.
It just seems like, when he wanted that trade, that all these allegations just all of a sudden just came out of the blue. And I'm not saying, sometimes, where there's smoke, there's fire. But something still don't smell right about this whole situation and about what really happened. But the only people that will know is Deshaun Watson, the people that gave him a massage and whatever hand job, whatever they did. But but at the end of the day, it's never smelled right from the beginning. They did so much for his image at first. How he gave to people who didn't have money and somebody lost their job. I know he gave a substantial amount of money to. And then all of a sudden, when he wanted to get traded, and all of a sudden, it was like a barrage of accusations, that were starting to come out. And I can't look at that as being coincidental.
Okay.
But again, to all you rich brothers out there that's playing sports and everything, you need to make sure you have that NBC, that non-disclosure.
Correct.
And all that, man, because it's killing people left and right. I'm not absolving him, because I don't know really what's going on, but it just seems like it's just so coincidental that all of a sudden this came out when he wanted to get traded. It just don't smell. It don't smell right, but we'll see what happens. I think he's gonna lose that civil suit though.
Okay.
I think he wants to pay some money.
Okay. Kenny or Tasha, what do you say on this?
For me, why are we still talking about it? I honestly, I don't get why we're still talking about it. He's not going to be charged criminally. You didn't say anything the day it happened. And correct me if I'm wrong, are some of these women claiming multiple instances?
I didn't see any of them claim multiple.
Because I thought one of them specifically had said that she had seen, like, it happened like 2 or 3 times or something. So you mean to tell me that one time was traumatizing enough?
I do think that's the case.
Sure.
I do think that's the case.
So it's like, oh, I gotta go back. So I gotta go back again. Like all of this, whatever it is, get them together and ask them. I can, maybe like $20 a piece or something, and go the fuck away because he has some football to play. Whatever, just it comes with the territory. Like, go away. It makes no sense.
That's why this is my dog right here. Brother Kenny, what you got to say?
Well, then,
Brother Black, you kind of swayed me a different way when we talked about this just last night on my sports show. I would say this. I think part of this, in my opinion, I think the justice system is flawed, which has been flawed, because I feel like if you've been absolved criminally, I don't think anyone should be able to sue you civilly, especially when the grand jury they didn't find enough evidence to charge you. Both grand juries in Texas just said they felt like it wasn't enough evidence to charge him criminally. So Why can someone be sued civilly if they weren't charged criminally? That's another flaw in this whole effed up justice system in
Yep.
this country. And second of all, the other part of it, I was thinking today too, that no matter what happens with this with Deshaun Watson, no matter what, if he's found innocent
Correct.
and the women are found to be not really being truthful, or if he's found, he can't go back to being Deshaun Watson regardless, because guess
Never.
what? The only thing that's going to ever be attached to him is these 22 civil lawsuits, and he was allegedly inappropriate during these massages. So I always say in these positions with men, when you're charged with something like this with men, you can't never get your good name back. I don't care how much you do in the community. I don't care how many
Nope.
whatever sponsors your name is tarnished forever.
Always.
And the accusers can go on and do their thing. And like you said last night, Brother Black, there is never a follow-up story to say if a man is found innocent, okay, we're gonna do a follow-up. They never do that. And I can attest to that because I'm in the industry, so I get it. So yeah, man, he's gonna get suspended. I just gonna keep it real.
Right.
He's gonna be suspended for some games.
Right.
But he's still gonna get his $230 million. So
Right.
there you have it.
And so that's my thing, and I mean it so seriously, because reason why I take this so serious, it's modern day McCarthyism, and it offends me because I fell victim to this on my job. You only get one name. Your name is your name.
Right.
The great Kobe Bryant, God rest his soul, no matter what he's ever done, there's somebody that's going to always throw in there, but he raped
Right.
this person.
Yeah.
He'll never live that down. And that will always be attached to him. On my job, and I'm nobody. I'm just a regular guy working in an office. And a long story short, we sitting in this tight little area, and I'm working. And one of my coworkers, who happens to be a really good friend, she says, "Hey, Freddie, how you like my new boots?" I looked over. I said, "I like those. Them joints just fly." With a girl sitting in front of me, who's also a really good friend of mine, she said, "Well, you didn't say nothing about my hair." I say, "I like your hair, sweetheart." I went on back to work. Unbeknownst to me, an Asian older lady that was sitting in the same area went and told that I made her feel uncomfortable with my comments, that the comments were sexualized. There was a 6-week HR investigation of me. I worked on the 3rd floor. And by the time the 6 weeks was up, they had questioned everybody in this office building about my name. Now, you know how HR investigations go. Some people came out and they, "Oh, Freddie's trying to get you," blah, 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 blah. And after they questioned all these people, and it finally was the moment of truth, 6 weeks gone by, and I sit there in front of HR and the vice president of the company. Long story short, he asked about the boots. He asked about the haircut. He even asked that I say that I found my boss attractive. And I said, yes. I said she was an attractive woman. He typed, this was drawn out. And then he asked about my birthday party that was at a sports bar. And I said, what does my birthday party have to do with accusations against me? So the vice president finally chimed in and says to the HR guy, what all do you have? He said, that's it. The vice president said, end of meeting, and I went off because my name was ruined. In those 6 weeks, the whispers, the looks that I received, and the mere mention that they asked questions about, does Freddie make you feel uncomfortable with the salt? You already fucked me at that point. And I could never get the best thing that happened to me, Tasha knows this, was the pandemic. I was going to lose my job had the pandemic not hit, because there's somewhere sitting in my jacket. It was always going to be thought that he got away with something. Mm-hmm. That in some kind of way, well, they just kept him on, because you don't ever get your name back. And so, like I expressed to Brother Kenny, I might have would have believed this for me if it was 5, 6 women, and we don't know what really happened. And 2 things can be mutually, exclusive. He could give away money and still be a damn freak. I'm not saying he couldn't. But what really did it for me was the pile on. Because you want me to believe that 22 women, and to Tasha's point, that was hired to do a massage, and some of which went back for double dipping massages, and they got paid. But if you felt so disrespected, reviled, and the lady said she was going to vomit, you mean to tell me you didn't tell it that day? You didn't report it that day? So my problem with the Me Too shit is that you can hold this in and you want to tell me that he's the big bad boogeyman, even though he paid you top dollar? And last time I checked, bitch, you're paid to give a massage. So guess what? If I'm laying on a table with a towel on me, you damn well better touch my inner thighs, everything else. And if your hand rubs up against my dick, well, that's what's part of it too. But my thing is, you want to pretend now that you're a brain surgeon, that you didn't know that you was gonna see, you might see him naked. I have a problem that 22 women can come forward because now, no matter what he says, he can't win.
Mm-hmm.
He can never win that argument because the moment 6, 7, 10, 11, and it gets to a point where 22 women, and like I said, they sensationalize it. And even if you come to find out that these bitches are lying, Brian Gumbel is not going to come back and do a retraction or another story. It just kind of goes away, even though they've made their ratings and their money off of it. And so, Tasha, you said it right. Surviving R. Kelly, surviving Neverland, you know. And so we don't get these people. Michael Jackson has died with his name forever tarnished. You might not like R. Kelly. He's not sitting in jail because he molested underage girls. He's sitting in jail because they used the RICO statute to incarcerate him. So I have a problem with this. So I'm sorry I took up a little extra time with this, but it offends me on so many levels that they're able to do this.
And nothing ever happens to them. Nothing, they don't get in trouble for that. Even if they made certain if they made accusations and they come to be not true or unsubstantiated, nothing ever happens to them. All I'm gonna say,
Correct.
Deshaun, look, never mind. Let me not say that on air.
No, I know what you want to say, and you want me to say it for you?
Yeah, go
I will
ahead.
say it for you because DJ, my brother, I don't agree with that. He can win all he wants. He never gets his name back. It'll never go away, no matter if he wins or not. And that's why I gave the example of Kobe Bryant.
Oh, Kobe, that's a perfect example because as much as we love Kobe, there were still people would bring up that Colorado.
Hate his guts, and also, so. But let me end the show by giving a message to Deshaun Watson from Tasha. Tasha wants you to know that you fucking with the wrong kind of chicks. If you want your dick touched, massaged, rubbed, might even get some hair out of it. That, and she won't tell a soul.
Discreet.
Yeah.
Okay. Discreet.
Because because Tasha drives a Cadillac and she live in Memphis.
And the reason, and on top of that, and she follows the golden rule. And here's why she play a player, because she rolls by herself for a reason. You ain't gonna tell on yourself
at all.
Just remember that. I had one more subject, but in the interest of time, I will not cover it. I will acknowledge, DJ, you say you should watch Drink Champs interview with Tank. He held R. Kelly and leave Kobe out of it.
Oh, we're not disrespecting Kobe, DJ.
I had to bring him in there, bro.
But you and I know that people.
I had to bring him in there.
Got you.
And I love me some Black Mamba, just so you know.
Me too.
You know what I'm saying? And even Tank, just so you know, Tank, I love his music, but Tank said you can suck a dick once or twice and you still not gay.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. Yeah, I can't rock with it. And I like Tank too. Tank,
and I love me some Tank.
But I can't rock with him on
once
that
a dick crosses your lips and hits your tonsils,
Yeah.
You
What
suck
the
Yeah.
it.
hell is going on around here?
Yeah. Once you get your knees dirty once,
No,
yeah,
and I'm not,
your knees dirty,
and
bro.
I'm not knocking dick sucking, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, just so you know.
Yeah.
All right, folks, that definitely ends this show. We ran over a little bit. That is how Real Talk covers the news of the day. I apologize again to my audience for running over for the technical difficulties, but I love you guys for hanging in there with me still. Yeah, we crazy as fuck, DJ, you know. But thank you, my brother, for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks, DJ. Much
Fan,
love, brother.
always for show. My Jenny from the block.
You right.
The Bronx, Jenny from the block in Memphis, Mr. TFG himself, always his support is always there. I truly appreciate everybody, even my sis Sherry, she can come on, and Miss Hannah. Thank you guys for tuning in. I truly appreciate you so much. And normally I will let the golden voice, you know, of Mr. Kenny tell you, but we are 9:25 over. I just want to let you guys know that you can find shows just like this and better. You know, better. I'm talking about whatever content that you're looking for. If you into real estate, religion, to the fellas talking about things, the women talking about things, TFG TV, if you don't know, it is the place to be. And so on YouTube, on Facebook, I'm telling you to get on this gravy chain because Mr. Falk, he is the next Berry Gordy. He is that dude. And so you can find us on a plethora of shows, you know, like TFG Tonight, Forgive Us Later, Real Talk, Kenny with Sports. Please look for us, you know, because we are here. We appreciate and need your support. So thank you guys for riding with me tonight. And I hope that you enjoy the rest of your week. Now that I'm of the great unemployed, I'm going to
hey Jordan, hey, you in my group now, brother.
I'm going to drink and I'm going to regenerate mentally and physically. And until next time, everybody be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and as always, keep it real.
Get that man some food.